We're having a test this Friday on chapters 5 through 8, which covered storage basics and operating systems. What is a file? It is a collection of related information or programming code that's given a unique name. Every file on our computer has a unique name and has a specific purpose. Those files are organized in folders. A folder is a storage location for our files, and we'll have separate folders set up so that we can keep our files organized by My Documents, or if they're related to a program, or if you want to have all your pictures in one location and put them in My Pictures. That's how we'll organize all of our files. What is the BIOS? BIOS is the basic input and output system information. It's what tells the computer equipment what to do. It's a set of instructions, and those instructions are stored on the ROM, and they're used at the startup of the computer. And that's how the operating system interacts with the hardware, is based on the information that's included in the BIOS. What is memory versus storage? Well, RAM is memory, and it's temporary. When your computer gets turned off, you lose what is stored on the RAM. But storage is permanent. When you save something onto a storage device or storage media, it will be there the next time you come back. What's the difference between storage mediums and storage devices? Well, a storage device is the hardware that allows you to record on the storage medium. So examples of that would be the hard drive, a CD-ROM or DVD drive, or a flash drive. But examples of the medium would be something that physically holds the files. It's what the device records the information onto. So an example of that would be like a CD, a DVD, a flash drive, or magnetic tape. Storage devices are read-only. CDs that we buy that have pre-recorded music on them, those are read-only CDs. But CDs that we record ourselves, they might be read-write or read-rewritable, which means that you can continue to add things onto that CD or make changes. What is the difference between internal, external, and cloud storage? Well, internal storage is inside the computer case, either inside the laptop or inside the computer tower. External storage is attached to the computer, and that's usually attached by a USB cable. Sometimes there'll be other adapters, but that's primarily attached by USB today. Online storage is connected to the computer via the internet. Online is like cloud storage, and you have to have internet access to save to that location and to access it in the future. Magnetic storage. The most common internal magnetic storage is the hard drive on your computer. In fact, that's the most common storage location or type of storage device in general. Online and cloud storage, what is that? Well, that is a system where files are backed up to a remote location and they can be accessed via the internet. There's three main benefits of online storage. That's that they're expandable. That means you might buy a limited file size today, but in the future you can expand it based on your own individual needs, and you can pay for just what you use, and they have certain thresholds where they'll increase the pricing based on how much storage, backup storage you're using. Another benefit is that it allows you to share files with others. So things like Dropbox, things like Google Drive, you can actually share your files with other people and collaborate on things. Another benefit is that you're protected from theft or damage. So in situations like a hurricane or tornadoes where businesses are completely wiped out and the computers are all trashed at a particular location, if you have online or cloud storage, you can still access your files and restore that information at a later time. Flash memory is non-magnetic and portable storage. The technology that's used for flash memory is very similar to ROM memory, but the difference is that you can write to it and you can save and resave and access that information over and over again. The two main types of optical storage devices are CDs and DVDs. CDs hold about 700 megabytes of information, and DVDs have the capability of holding about 4.7 gigabytes. So a DVD can hold more information than a CD can. What are the parts of the hard drive? Well, they're the platters. They look almost like CDs. And then there's the actuator arm, or the read-write heads. That's the little arm that moves across the platters and actually writes the information onto a specific location of the platter. And then you've got the circuit board, and its primary purpose is to actually attach the hard drive to the motherboard of the computer. What are the things that determine a hard drive's performance? Well, that would be the number of platters. The more platters you have, the more storage capacity you have. And then the speed of those platters also impacts your performance. What is a RAID? RAID stands for Redundant Array of Inexpensive Disks. And what this is a set of disks or hard drives that work together. And it creates a local backup of all your files in case one hard drive fails. Now, this is not a backup where you can have information retrieved from it, because it's constantly updating, and whatever changes are made on one hard drive are automatically made on the other hard drive. So the primary purpose for these is inside a server for a business. That way, if a hard drive fails, the business can continue working and still has access to the data on the secondary hard drive. So the primary place that you see RAID drives is in servers that businesses use. Why do we back up our data? Well, just in case it's damaged. Whether a storage device is damaged or storage media gets damaged, in case it's lost, in case somebody steals your hard drive or your computer. And backing up allows you to restore and access missing files or data that would have otherwise been impossible to recreate. So rather than spending hours and hours and hours recreating your work, you can simply back up your data and restore it at a future time should you lose that information. What are some issues in using storage? Well, sometimes it's slow to retrieve your backup information, especially if you use a magnetic tape system. Sometimes you have data decay. Magnetic tape and CDs and disks, they gradually wear down and may become unusable, or portions of them might become unreadable. This happens because of friction, and magnetic tape is especially vulnerable to that type of damage. What is enterprise storage? Well, enterprise storage is how businesses use storage. Oftentimes businesses will have computers that are all linked together on a network, and they can share data on their server so that people can work together and have access to the same files. They also use RAID systems and cloud storage in combination. They use them together because the RAID system only gives you a secondary access locally, but that cloud storage lets you have access to information should the entire system be wiped out locally. So that's why businesses use that combination of RAID and cloud storage to meet their data protection needs. Operating system labeling. On our test, you're going to be required to know the 20 things that are shown on this screen. So I suggest you take a lot of time and look over each one of these and know that you'll be able to describe to me what happens when you click on each of these items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over these with you right now. When you click on the apple, right here is the apple, you can see an option that says About Mac. This lets you see some of the basic information, and if you click on More Information, it'll tell you not only what your operating system is, but all the details of the hardware that's on your computer. Number 2 is the drop-down menu. When you click on any of those words that I have in that bracket, it allows you to access many different operating system settings and commonly used commands within the operating system window. Number 3 is the status bar. By hovering over each of the icons that are represented in the status bar, you can see the status of several items, such as the Wi-Fi, battery, and the date and time. Number 4. Number 4 is pointing to the red circle on our computers, which closes a document or closes a screen. Number 5 is pointing to the green circle. The green circle actually allows you to maximize your screen. Number 6 is pointing to one of our view buttons, which is icon view. Icon view lets you see the list of files in a folder as icons instead of in the format that we see them on this screen. Now number 7 is pointing to list view, which is what we're looking at right now. And list view lets you see things based on several columns of data, and everything's shown more in text format. Number 8 is pointing to the task drop-down menu. You can perform any number of tasks on a single item. Whatever you have clicked on in your screen, if you click on a specific folder or a specific file, and you click on that task icon, which is that little gear, it will give you a list of options that you can perform on that item or file or folder. That would be one of the ways that you could create a new folder, is by clicking on that task icon. Number 9. Number 9 is pointing to the location you are currently looking at, the folder or location you're viewing. So right now in this screen print, we were looking at the Dropbox. Number 10 allows you to search for things, search for files and folders in a specific folder. So you would type a portion of the file name. Number 11 is down here under the search for. When you click on any of these options under search for, you can actually look at things based on certain parameters, like anything that was worked on today, anything that was worked on yesterday, all movies, all documents, all images. So those are searches that are predefined for you. If you click on number 12, the column that's labeled by name, it will sort your list in name order. Number 13, if you click on this column heading, you will be sorting your list by date modified. Number 14, if you click on here, it will sort your files and folders based on the size of those files and folders. And finally, number 15, if you click on number 15, which is kind, it will sort based on the type of file or the kind of file that you are looking at. Number 16 is this arrow. When you click on the arrow next to a folder, it will actually expand or collapse that folder. If the arrow is pointing to the left, it will expand the folder. If the arrow is pointing down and you click on it, it will collapse the folder. Number 17 is the status bar at the bottom of the window. It tells you the number of items that are showing on the screen. If you happen to have some files selected, it will actually show you what those files, how many files you have selected. It also tells you the available space on your hard drive next to the items. Number 18, if you click at the corner of your screen, number 18, this will let you click and drag to make your window manually resize by clicking and dragging at that corner. Number 19 is this little arrow, and this arrow will show up based on whatever column you currently have sorted. And if the arrow is pointing with the point at the top and the base being wider at the bottom, that means everything is sorted in ascending order. But if that arrow has the single point going down and the base of the triangle up, that means that it is sorted in descending order. So that allows you to change between ascending and descending order. And finally, number 20. Note that number 20 says for any program but Finder. So any window that you see, with the exception of Finder, when you click on the word that identifies the program, Quit Program will be the option at the bottom of the drop-down menu. So Finder remains open at all times on the Mac OS. So quitting the program works on any program name with the exception of Finder. Now, here are the basic descriptions in written form. I read those to you as I was pointing to them on the screen, but here is the list of exactly what each icon or what each item does that I expect you to be able to tell me about for the operating system label portion of the test. So make sure that you take time to know and understand how you're going to describe to me what each of those things does when you click on it on the operating system screen, because you will need to describe that in your own words. This will not be matching. It will be fill in, yeah, like just describe what happens when you click on each thing. Be able to tell me that in your own words.